Sometimes, the success of a movie makes such a noise, and the supporting characters grab so much attention from the audience that studios can't let the opportunity slip by, and that's how spin-offs are born. These are movies that feature supporting characters who have charmed the fans so much that they take on the role of the protagonist, getting their own stories. Finding Nemo, Madagascar, and many other films have generated great spin-offs that have become as good as, or in some cases, even better than their originals. And these are the ones you'll check out today. And then I want you to tell me, did these spin-offs surpass the original films, or not? Welcome to Cine Lovers. A Despicable Me movie without the Minions would be like a Star Wars movie without lightsabers. Due to the tremendous success of the little yellow guys in both the first and second Gru films, the Minions got their own movie in 2015, which simply surpassed $1 billion at the box office. Are you kidding me? A spin-off making more than $1 billion? That's a lot. In this spin-off, we learn about the Minions' origin, that they were bacteria living in the sea, and began evolving, but they were always searching for their favorite villain. They always needed to follow some villain. It was a necessity. In their search for a leader, the Minions meet Scarlet, a supervillain who wants to be the first woman to take over the world. But after helping her with her plan to steal the Queen Elizabeth's crown, she tries to get rid of them. The Minions then change their plans and turn against Scarlet, making us understand that, despite working for villains, the Minions have standards and only offer their help when they feel admired by the villain's purpose and when they are valued and recognized by them. Exactly the qualities they found in Gru. But unlike the first movie, which despite the huge box office success, divided fans' opinions, in 2022, Illumination released Minions: The Rise of Gru, which managed to captivate the audience much more, telling the story of Gru's pre-adolescence and how he and the Minions became inseparable while trying to escape from a group of villains they initially wanted to be part of. It's impressive for a studio to manage to make a trilogy of a spin-off and maintain the essence of the characters while writing interesting stories. I think the Minions were better with Gru, which is why I prefer the second film. Oh, and I mentioned earlier that Illumination managed to make a trilogy of these little guys, because Minions 3 is already confirmed. That's right, you heard it. Write it down. Minions 3 will be released in June 2027, and it's safe to say that it will be one of the biggest hits of the year. Now the question is, will this third movie take place in the past, like the first two, or in the present day? Go ahead and leave your expectations for the movie in the comments. Another studio that also nailed it with secondary characters was DreamWorks with Shrek 2, which many consider the best movie in the franchise, and some even say it's the best animated film in history. For me, out of the 4 Shrek movies, Shrek 2 is the best. In fact, I made a video just about this film, showing how great it is, and it was right there in that second movie that he appeared. Puss in Boots! He stole so much of the spotlight that a few years later, he got not just one movie to call his own, but 2. And this is another character that sooner or later will probably get a trilogy as well. I truly believe this will happen. It took a while for Puss to get his own spin-off, since he first appeared in Shrek 2 in 2004, and only starred in his first film in 2011. The animation made over $500 million and was well received by the audience, telling the story of Puss in Boots before the events of Shrek, during the time he tries to steal the magic beans from a family of villains in search of a hidden fortune above the clouds. But the real recognition came with Puss in Boots 2: The Last Wish, released 11 years after the first. In this 2022 sequel, Puss in Boots has to deal with a much deeper and urgent situation. Out of the 9 lives he had, after participating in so many dangerous missions, now he only had 1 left. This movie is one of the best animations ever made. It delivered much more than promised and surprised everyone, no doubt about it. And in terms of story, Puss in Boots 2 managed to surpass the Shrek franchise. They really knocked it out of the park. Okay, but in the hope of easily recovering the lives he lost, Puss in Boots embarks on a search for a magical artifact called the Wishing Star. But that's when the wolf appears, the manifestation of death, someone Puss cannot face head-on like he was used to, and who makes him learn a lesson about life, realizing how valuable each of his lives truly really is. Just like every like you give here on Cine Lovers is incredibly valuable. Here, every day we post videos about your favorite movies and characters, so leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. Speaking of characters in the Shrek universe, after DreamWorks saw the success, especially of Puss in Boots 2, who gave an interview confirming that Donkey will get his own movie, was none other than Eddie Murphy, the original voice of Donkey. Of course, since it's still such a distant project, he summed it up by saying that Donkey's solo movie will begin production as soon as Shrek 5 is finished. Now, I have a question that will spark debates in the comments. Puss in Boots or Donkey? Which of the two characters is better? And please, respect each other, calm down. And just like the Minions, a spin-off that made over $1 billion at the box office was Finding Dory. The movie was released in 2016, 13 years after Finding Nemo, but the story takes place just 1 year after the events of the first film, and it was just as good as Finding Nemo. Finding Dory is considered a sequel to Finding Nemo, but it is also a spin-off of Dory. As the title suggests, this time it was Dory who ended up bumping into humans and getting trapped in a marine institute, prompting Marlin to go on another rescue mission. In the plot, Dory suddenly remembers her parents, and in the search for them, she gets kidnapped, with her great ally being Hank the Octopus, who helps her return to the ocean. This movie is so beautiful. I love films set in the sea and on the beach, and Pixar did a great job both with the story of Dory's movie and with the flawless animation. Now, hold on, because I'm going to talk about a movie that isn't technically a spin-off, but in a way, it kind of is. The movie I'm talking about is Cars 2. Although the film keeps the original title, it's no secret that Pixar's focus was to try to shift the spotlight from McQueen to Mater, which wasn't the best idea. That's because, although Mater was loved in the first film and is indeed a good character, Cars won the hearts of fans mainly because of McQueen and the races, not because of the theme of talking cars going on dangerous and explosive missions. Sometimes it feels like Cars 2 was a story that only happened in Mater's head, like his shorts, and not really part of the Cars timeline. Then Pixar realized it was better to shift the focus back to McQueen, and Cars 3 tried to get closer to the first, but still left some things to be desired. But Cars 4 is almost here, and Disney released some spoilers saying the movie is coming soon. Click here, and I'll tell you all the details. And let's agree that there still hasn't been a Cars sequel that surpassed the first one. Now, besides Shrek, another iconic film from DreamWorks that spawned a spin-off was Madagascar, which debuted in 2005 and made over $500 million at the box office, bringing not only Alex's crew but also the clever and mischievous penguins. In 2008, a month before Madagascar 2 hit theaters, the Penguins of Madagascar series arrived on Nickelodeon, showing the chaotic daily life of the penguins in the zoo, having to deal with their new and unwanted neighbors, the lemurs. Then, in 2014, after all 3 Madagascar films had been released, DreamWorks finally gave the penguins their own movie, where they team up with a secret animal group to stop Dr. Octavius' plans, who wanted to kidnap all the penguins in the world as an act of revenge. The film performed slightly below Madagascar at the box office, but it still made a profit and was well received by the audience. For me, the best character in Madagascar is Skipper. Now it's time to click here to find out that Madagascar 4 is happening too. And in this video, I'll give you all the details we have. And if you're excited for Shrek 5, click here, and I'll tell you who the villain of the movie might be. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video here on Cine Lovers.